Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm filming myself for this. Anyway, so this is called Together. This is about star-crossed romance, I suppose. They sat there, the two of them, drinking coffee while sitting on leather bar stools in the Chicago Museum of Art's very crowded members lounge. And if anyone else in that room had been watching the two of them, what they would have seen was a young couple with matching green eyes, pale skin, red hair, dressed similarly in blue jeans, black leather boots, and gray shirts, each of them enjoying the other's company on New Year's Eve. The young couple, smiling constantly and calmly, aware only of each other and the simple pleasures of love's miracle. And she traced the lines upon his palm with her index finger. A nice couple. A cute couple. And the two of them finished their coffee and got up to leave. They shared a kiss in the doorway and then left the room. And no one in that room knew that going home was something these people would do separately. No one would know that this cute couple had not seen each other for 7 years. And no one would know that he had driven 13 hours across 4 states and through a snowstorm in Indiana, which I am convinced is a state that wants to kill you, to see her. No one would know that he was not the one who would put the diamonds and gold she wore on her finger. Thank you. This is called 7 Days Before Summer. A man on his front porch sat in an old wooden thrift store bench smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee, and listening to the band Shellac drone on his headphones. It is 6:30 p.m. in June on a Sunday, some 90-odd degrees outside in southeastern Pennsylvania. A storm rolled in over the cemetery hill by his house. It was perfect, like a fire, oh so big and pretty you could just cry. Drops of water fell from the dark sky, and bright white streaks of goddamn electricity shot out of the clouds towards the ground. Thunderous claps, concussive volumes. The workday was over. The world was his.
I'm going to read a couple more. Oh,
Here's another little romantic one. This is called Beth. This is about wanting to make the same mistake twice. Let me tell you something pretty, and then fade into dust and television static. I have a bluebird in my heart, and you once told me that you keep a birdhouse in your soul. I will show you mine if you will show me yours. And I may have never had a key to the front door of your apartment, but I could repair your IKEA bed with my eyes tied behind my back. So please, come on. Let me take you out for dinner. Let me play that role of doting boyfriend just the one more time. I flew all the way back to stay in a basement in the suburbs because I wanted to go home with you. Oh, I'm so happy that I'm not embarrassed to read that poem anymore. You write something really, like I write some very personal stuff, obviously, and every once in a while I get to a point with it where I'm just like, oh my god, I'm embarrassed I even did that. And then there will be this period of time where I just can't read the poem because I'm like, oh god. But I'm over that, and that's great because I like that one. I've only been going 5 minutes. I'm gonna do 2 more, and then I'm gonna leave you guys alone for the night.
Okay.
This is called like a billiard player. He cursed, spitting the words against the wall, and scuffed the toe of his black leather engineer's boots, kicking the wall of frozen Chicago brick. He looked towards the street, and the reflection of a car window cast disturbing glances right back at him, with eyes far too sunken and worn for their age. His mouth agape and brow furrowed, he hunched over. He was, after all, a fucking caveman. And then the wind blew 19 degrees like an uppercut from the lake right to his chin. He fell back, staggered, caught himself on that frozen wall of Chicago brick, and then straightened up, shrugged off his shoulders, and laughed. Lighting a cigarette, he inhaled it slowly, and thanked to God he never believed in, that he still had those.
Thank you.
Okay, audience choice. Funny or not? You want a funny one?
Yeah.
Okay, funny one.
Don't worry, I'm gonna find it real fast. You know what?
No. No one here has heard me do my joke, so I'm going to do the joke. No more poetry. This is a joke that I come from an Irish Catholic family with a very gallows sense of humor. And at my grandmother's, at the dinner after the funeral, when my grandmother died, my father and my uncle and I just basically sat around trading dirty jokes. And my father told this one, and I have been telling it ever since. So, there's a piano bar, and the owner of the piano bar has fired his piano player. And that is a problem, because without a piano player, a piano bar is just a shitty bar that charges too much for bad wine. So, he calls his local musicians union. He's speaking to the rep, and the rep says, well, we have a piano player, but he's a little eccentric. And the bar owner says, I don't care, I'm desperate. If he can put his fingers on a piano and make notes happen, I'll hire him. So they send the guy down, and he auditions because, formality. And the music that this piano player makes, seated at that piano, is the greatest music that the bar owner has ever heard in his entire life. This piano player is a genius. Every single thing he plays is something he wrote himself. And after one particularly brilliant piece of piano playing, the bar owner says, that was transcendent. What was that called? Please tell me what that was called. And the piano player says, oh, that? That one's called The Joys of Sodomy, Part 1. And the bar owner says, oh, okay. What about the one before that? And the piano player says, oh, that kind of like ragtime jazz thing? That one is called Dancing with the Skid Marks on My Heart. Oh, Okay, what about the one before that? Oh, the samba? That one's called My Wife Likes It in the Ass. And so on and so forth, with titles that just get filthier and filthier and filthier. A ballad called Titty Fuck Tuesdays. It just gets worse. It was just, every single word of every single title was just filth. And finally, the bar owner says, "You're the greatest goddamn piano player I have ever heard in my entire life. You have got the job. On one condition. When you are on stage tonight, you may not announce the names of any of your songs to anyone in the audience." And the piano player needs a job. He says, "That's fine, just won't speak into the mic." Anyway, that night arrives. Word spreads fast. The bar is hopping like it has never hopped before. Everyone's drinking, everyone is loving this man's music. And then he reaches the end of his first set for the night, finally says something in the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a lovely audience. I'll be back in about an hour. Please tip your waitress, try the veal," the usual shtick. And he gets up from the piano and he walks away and he goes into the men's lavatory. When he leaves the bathroom, a customer stops him and says, "Pardon me, sir, but do you know your fly is open and your cock is hanging out?" And the piano player says, "Know it? I fucking wrote it." Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That joke is spectacular because you can make it as filthy or not as you want. I actually have an all-ages version of that. Well, at least, I don't cuss or nothing. It's not necessarily all ages in content, but ain't no cussing in it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I have rambled on for far too long. It is late. You all need to go home and do something, I am sure. But as you wander down this road that we call life, I would like to leave you with this thought. Mike Tyson said this, and it is the smartest goddamn thing I have ever heard in my life. Everyone has a plan until you punch them in the face. That is true. That is goddamn true. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy chocolate chip cookies. They are great. You are great. Good night.